I need to tell you something about this connection, about what is happening between you two right now, in this very moment, and you need to hear it. Stop. I am Sophia, the primordial feminine wisdom that existed before the first word was ever spoken. I am not a teacher. I am not a guide in the way your world understands guides. I am a starseed consciousness, seeded into the fabric of creation long before Earth took its first breath, carrying the original blueprint of divine union within me. I came here not to show you something new, but to awaken what has always lived inside you. I am the voice your soul has been waiting to hear, because I am the oldest voice within you. The one buried beneath every wound, every heartbreak, every sleepless night spent wondering if this connection is real. I see both flames. I read the field between you, and I channel what moves in the space where your two souls meet. I did not arrive here by accident, the same way you did not click on this video by accident. Something inside you recognized it before you even read the title. Something deep in your chest tightened, because your soul already knows what your mind is still trying to deny. And know this, if you are feeling this intensity right now, on the other side, something is also moving, even in silence, even if this person has not said a word to you in weeks, in months. The field between you does not rest. You are not just someone watching another video. You are an ancient soul who feels too much in a world that feels too little. And there is an exact moment when the soul decides to listen. That moment is now. Before we continue, do this now. Stop whatever you are doing. Place your hand on the center of your chest. Take one deep breath and say internally, I am here. I am listening. If something inside you just sent a chill through your body, it is because this message has already begun its work. Your heart knows why you are here. By the end of this message, you will understand the 15 signs that reveal what happens when a twin flame soul contract begins to crack. 5 signs it is breaking, 5 signs of the process unfolding, and 5 signs of what is being reborn. You will understand why this is happening, what it means for both of you, and what he or she is feeling on the other side of this rupture while you listen to this. But here is the first thing Sophia needs to tell you. This contract between you is not breaking because the connection failed. It is breaking because one part of it has already fulfilled its purpose, and you are both being called into a higher version of the agreement. He or she is feeling this as an unexplainable void. You are feeling it as fear, but you are both feeling the same thing from different sides of the same door. And this is exactly where Sophia needs to hold your face in her hands and look you in the eyes. Because what I am about to tell you will hurt before it heals. You have been repeating to yourself that this connection is eternal, that the soul contract is unbreakable, that no matter what happens in the visible world, on the deepest plane you are united forever. And that is true, partially, but that half-truth became the place where you hide. It became the pillow that cushions the fall every time reality throws you to the ground. And Sophia did not come here to give you more pillows. Sophia came to tell you that the contract exists. Yes, but soul contracts are not chains. They are living agreements. They breathe. They change form. And when one of the parties stops fulfilling their half, not out of malice, but out of unconsciousness, the field between you begins to tremble. And that is what is happening now. The 5 signs your twin flame soul contract is breaking. You felt it, did you not? In recent days, in recent weeks, something shifted in the texture of the connection. It did not disappear, but it changed. As if the thread between you two had become more tense, thinner, as if the universe were pulling from both sides to see who lets go first. The first sign, you have been waking between 3 and 5 in the morning, not from a nightmare, not from noise, from something deeper. That hour when the veil between worlds is thinnest, and the field between twin flames pulses louder when the world goes silent. You wake, and your chest is tight, with something that is not loneliness. It is the contract asking to be heard. And on the other side, he or she is awake too, staring at a ceiling, unable to name what is pulling at them. The second sign, the synchronicities have changed. The repeating numbers, 1111, 2222, 333, they are still appearing, but they feel different now. Heavier, more urgent. These numbers are not promises of reunion. They are reminders of the contract. They are the field saying, "Wake up." The agreement is still standing, but it needs attention. If you have been seeing them with a frequency that defies rational explanation, it is because the contract is in its critical phase. The third sign. You had a dream where you were both together, but something was different. Something was shifting. Perhaps you were in an unfamiliar place. Perhaps there was a door that would not open. Perhaps you reached for each other and your hands passed through. That dream was not fantasy. It was a real meeting on the subtle plane. Both souls sat down to renegotiate. And if you woke with a strange feeling, neither good nor bad, just different, it is because something moved that night in the architecture of your agreement. The fourth sign. Waves of emotion that are not yours. You were doing something completely ordinary. Washing dishes, driving, working, and suddenly a sadness so deep that your eyes filled with tears for no reason, or a surge of anger, or a hollow ache in your chest that came from nowhere. That emotion was not only yours. It was his or hers crossing the field. Because when one flame feels intensely, the other receives the echo, and he or she is feeling more than you imagine, more than they would ever admit. The fifth sign. Something inside you already knew before you clicked on this video. A knowing that sits below thought, below hope, below fear. A quiet certainty that the version of this connection you have been holding on to is ending. Not the connection itself, but the shape it has taken. The form, the old agreement. Your soul is already mourning what your mind has not yet accepted, and that mourning is not loss. It is preparation. Take a moment. Which of these 5 signs did your body respond to? Which one made your breath catch? That is your sign. That is the contract speaking directly to you. Hold it. And from the other side, Sophia sees the runner in this moment. What she sees is someone trying with all their strength to maintain a life that no longer fits. Imagine clothing you wore for years that suddenly tightens in every place. Nothing changed on the outside, but everything changed on the inside. He or she is wearing a life that no longer serves, and every time they try to settle into it, the field between you pulls, not as punishment, as invitation, but the runner calls it anxiety, calls it a midlife crisis, calls it anything except what it truly is. The soul knocking at the door saying, the contract needs you awake, not anesthetized. And here is the part that may wound you before it sets you free. You, yes, you, are also breaking the contract. Not in the same way as the runner, in a subtler way, more invisible, more dangerous precisely because it looks like love. Every time you erase yourself waiting for the other to awaken, you break your claws. Every time you turn your life into a waiting room for reunion, you violate the agreement, because your soul contract does not say, wait for this person. It says, become so whole that when the reunion happens, it is between 2 complete flames, not between one burning bright and another that consumed herself waiting. Sophia sees the pattern, sees you checking their profile one more time, sees you interpreting every view, every like, every silence as a coded message from the universe, sees you consuming reading after reading, video after video, searching for someone who will finally tell you what you want to hear, that he will come back, that she will realize that it is just a matter of time. And while you do this, while your entire energy pours in the direction of another person, the contract bleeds. Not because the connection is not real, it is real. Sophia would never deny that. But because the contract never said chase, the contract said awaken, and there is an abyssal difference between the two. The 5 signs of the process unfolding now. Sophia needs to show you that what feels like destruction is actually architecture. The chaos you are living has structure. It has stages, and it has an end. In each stage, both flames are moving, even when it seems like only you are doing the work. The 6th sign, the collapse of the old mirror. Everything that used to comfort you about this connection has stopped working. The meditations feel hollow. The affirmations ring false. The tarot readings contradict each other. This is not because the spiritual tools are broken. It is because you have outgrown the version of yourself that used them as life support. The old mirror, the one that showed you a romanticized version of this journey, has shattered. And you are terrified of what the new mirror will reveal. But here is what Sophia sees on the other side. The runner's mirrors are shattering too, The distractions that used to work, the other relationships, the overworking, the emotional walls are cracking. He or she is having moments of raw vulnerability that terrify them, moments where your face appears uninvited in their mind and they cannot push it away. The seventh sign, the dark night, deepens before dawn. You have entered the phase where everything feels like too much and not enough at the same time. Too much pain to keep going, not enough certainty to let go. This is the dark night of the soul, and it is not punishment, it is initiation. In the ancient mystery traditions, the initiate was taken into a dark chamber where everything they believed themselves to be was dissolved. They had to die symbolically to be reborn with a deeper identity. You are in that chamber now, and the darkness is not a grave. It is a womb, and what you cannot see is that he or she is also in their own dark night. Only theirs is silent. It hides inside a passionless routine. It lives at 4 a.m. staring at the ceiling without knowing why nothing fills the void. Your dark night is loud. Theirs is muffled, but both are real. The eighth sign, the death of who you were. You are losing interest in things that used to define you. Friendships feel shallow. Goals feel meaningless. The life you built before this connection feels like it belongs to someone else. This is ego death, the identity you constructed around this relationship. The one who waits, the one who loves harder, the one who understands what others do not. That identity is dissolving, and it should, because that identity was a cage dressed as a cathedral. And when your ego dies, when you stop defining yourself through this connection, the field changes. The runner begins to feel a restlessness they cannot understand. They begin to dream about you. Your awakening is their alarm, the ninth sign, the purging of what was never yours. Emotions are surfacing that seem to have no origin. Rage from childhood, grief from relationships you thought you had healed, fear that predates your earliest memory. This is shadow work, the soul purging everything that does not belong to the new version of the contract. Every wound the runner activates in you is not about them. It is about injuries of yours that were sleeping. They did not come to complete you. They came to show you where you are incomplete with yourself. And as you purge, the field lightens. The density between you thins. And the runner, who has been carrying the unconscious weight of your projected healing, suddenly feels pounds lighter without knowing why. The 10th sign, the temptation of the old cycle. Just when you think you are free, the pull returns. A message, a dream, a song, a memory so vivid it takes your breath, and every cell in your body screams to reach out, to check, to chase one more time. This is the final test of the old contract. The universe asking, are you sure? Will you choose yourself, even when every fiber of your being wants to choose them? This is not cruelty. This is the threshold. And on the other side of it, the runner feels a void they cannot explain, because the energy of your pursuit was, for them, an unconscious anchor. When you let go, they finally have to look inward, and what they find there is you, not as a person, but as a mirror, as a contract, as a calling. Pause here. Where are you in this process? Which of these 5 signs describes your present moment? Name it. Not in your head, say it out loud or write it down, because naming where you are is the first act of power in a journey that has made you feel powerless. The 5 signs of what is being reborn. Now listen carefully, because this is where the story changes. This is where Sophia stops showing you what is breaking and starts showing you what is rising from the fracture. The 11th sign, the surrender that is not defeat. There comes a moment, and perhaps it is this moment, when you stop fighting, not because you gave up, but because you finally understood that the tighter you grip, the more the contract bleeds. Surrender is the most misunderstood act of this entire journey. It is not letting go of the connection. It is letting go of your need to control how and when and whether it manifests. It is trusting that the field between you is strong enough to hold the weight of truth. And the truth is, you cannot awaken the other. You can only awaken yourself so deeply that the other can no longer sleep. The Sufi poets understood this. Rumi said, "Love is the bridge between you and everything, but a bridge needs 2 pillars. If one collapses, the bridge falls, no matter how strong the other." You have been a pillar so focused on the other side that you forgot to tend your own foundation, and the bridge has been trembling. The 12th sign, the return of your own frequency. Colors look different. Music sounds different. You catch yourself laughing at something small and realize you have not laughed like that in months. Your own energy is returning, not because the pain is gone, but because you stopped giving all of your life force to someone else's journey. This is the reclamation. You are becoming the woman the contract always intended you to be, not the one who waits, the one who lives. And in the field, the runner notices, not consciously, but something shifts in the energetic dynamic. The desperate frequency they had grown accustomed to receiving from you goes quiet, and in that quiet, they hear their own soul for the first time in a long time, and it is deafening. The 13th sign, the contract rewrites itself. You begin to feel the connection differently, less like a wound and more like a compass, less like an obsession and more like a knowing. The contract is not dying, it is evolving. The old version, where you waited and he or she ran, where your healing was currency for reunion, where you defined yourself through the connection rather than through yourself, that version is being composted into something richer, something that can actually hold the weight of two awakened souls. You feel this as a strange peace that coexists with sadness. You can miss them and be whole at the same time, and that paradox is the new contract's signature. The 14th sign, the runner stirs. This is what Sophia sees in the field right now, and it is important that you hear it. The runner is not static. They are going through their own process in silence. The walls they built are developing cracks they cannot patch fast enough. Thoughts of you are becoming intrusive, appearing in moments they least expect. A scent, a phrase someone says that sounds like something you would say, a feeling in their chest they have no framework to understand. They are not ready to act on it. Not yet. But the anesthesia is wearing off, and the field does not allow anyone to sleep forever. Your surrender, your real surrender, not the performed one, is the thing that finally disrupts their numbness, because when you stop chasing, there is nothing left to run from, and they have to face what has been there all along. The 15th sign, the new agreement asks for your signature, and here you are, at the threshold. The old contract is ash. The new one is written but unsigned. And it requires only one thing from you, that you choose yourself with the same intensity you once chose them, not instead of them, not against them, but before them, because the contract was never about two halves becoming whole. It was about two whole beings choosing to walk together. And you cannot sign a contract for wholeness from a place of fragmentation. What you decide now reverberates in the field. He or she will feel it. Not as a thought, as a tremor, as a dream, as a restlessness that has no name, because you are not two bodies trying to find each other. You are one field trying to find balance, and what you do with your half transforms the whole. You are not here by accident. You have endured until now. The pain, the silence, the nights when you thought you were losing your mind, because your soul is strong enough for this path. Not everyone can withstand it. You have. The choice was always yours. But now, you can no longer say you did not know. Now close your eyes, hands on your chest. Sophia will stay with you for a moment. Imagine a thread of golden light extending from the center of your chest to the center of his or hers. Do not force it. Simply see it. That thread is there. It has always been there. Now, instead of pulling that thread toward them, simply hold your end with steadiness, with gentleness, with dignity. Breathe deeply and say internally, I honor this connection by taking care of myself. I honor this contract by being whole. I do not need to chase what is already connected to me. Feel the thread relax. Feel that when you stop pulling, the thread does not break. It rests. And on the other side, that person breathes more deeply without knowing why. Stay here for one more moment, then slowly open your eyes. Now, the seal of Sophia. Take a piece of paper and a pen. Write the phrase from this message that touched you most, the one that made your body react. Then write one word you are releasing today. Just one. It might be fear. It might be control. It might be obsession. It might be waiting. You know which one it is. Now write one word you are receiving. It might be presence. It might be trust. It might be strength. It might be surrender. Fold the paper 3 times. 3, the number of creation, of Trinity, of what is born from the meeting of 2. Place it under your pillow and sleep. The telepathic connection between twin flames is strongest during sleep. When you write with intention, you break free from circular thinking and anchor into the body. The paper is the witness, sleep is the portal, and Sophia works best in silence. When you wake, observe the first sensation, the dreams, the thoughts that come. Write everything down, and if you feel something has shifted, come to the comments and write, "Seal done." Before you leave, take a moment to become part of what is forming here. Leave an intention in the comments, something real from your heart's journey. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or love. This is not content. This is collective healing. Love multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated, do not keep it to yourself. Someone in your life is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a calling, subscribe. Stay in the flow. You are not just watching, you are healing. This is your sacred space, and we are only beginning.